All right. Welcome to the Shock Drop Podcast. I'm Chris, your host. I'm joined with my co host, Kyle and Azeem. In this week's episode, we have a lot of exciting topics to cover, starting with the ongoing sneaker bot problem and how it's affecting the sneaker community. We'll also be giving you a first look at the all new J Balvin Air Jordan 3 that just got leaked a couple days ago, as well as some first looks with Beyonce and Adidas's new collaboration, even though they've already parted ways. And that's not all. Speaking of parting ways, we've also got new updates of Nike and Tom Sachs and a whole bunch of new updates based on their allegations. And whether you're just a sneaker collector or a casual fan, we've got you covered with our in depth analysis and discussion. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And let's go ahead and get started. So I know J Balvin's had, the one came out, and then I think that it was kind of a hit or miss.
Mhm.
Um, Generally, I think that a lot of people were not a fan of it at first, and then maybe once it actually came out, I think people got a little bit more accustomed to it. The two definitely did not do very well, just because of that huge price tag. But I mean, the three, for everybody that's looking at it on the image, it's almost an all white three with a pink and yellowish gradient. What do you guys think about it?
Best
I
one
really
so
like it.
far.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah,
people were
best one
saying
so
it
far
kind
of
of looks like
his collabs.
Yeah.
people were saying it looks like the Alma Money Air 3. What do you think?
Uh,
You think
I
they took
think
out the
the
leftover
front of
pairs and
it.
just repainted it?
Yeah. The front of it definitely does. It has the same colors of the Soulfly 3, if you've ever seen that. That has a yellow, a darker teal, and a red, and it's kind of like now all combined into a gradient for this one. And he's also very Miami.
yeah. I was gonna say the gradient felt very like Miami, Florida
Yeah.
He
vibes.
did wear this for the Miami Formula
Grand
One
Prix.
Grand Prix, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
very
That was his
occasional.
birthday too that he was there.
Oh, that's very fitting then.
And I know Azim, you were saying like paint it over for like the Alma Munieres. The one thing that I know Brandon pointed this out on Twitter, but this was very interesting. We can see that yellow liner on the leather. I'm wondering if it rubs off to a sunset upper, like a yellow
Yeah, so that's
base,
what
maybe
people
like
were
a red
saying.
upper.
It might
That
Would,
would
would
fade
you
be
away or like rub off.
would you
that
rub it
would be
off, or
super
would you
cool.
would you leave it?
I mean, I think I would just let it go through normal wear and like rub off as it like
Yeah,
goes, right?
Hmm.
Because I've
I
actually
think that
never
would be
owned like a
best.
pair of shoes that do that, so it'd be my first, which would be fun.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. You don't have any of the peel offs that we've ever had?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm
What would
curious to
if you got a
see
peel
what
off? Would you keep it or would you peel it off?
Uh, I think I would peel it off just to try it out.
Interesting.
yeah.
Kyle, what were you saying?
I was gonna say like I'm curious, like, Private Selection will probably get like one of the first pairs in hand. I wonder if they're gonna be the ones to reveal what's underneath.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
usually the
'cause
ones to do it.
Yeah. So I think depending on what it looks like, I would
And then
I would like either immediately like kind of do the peel off or just let it, wear away naturally.
are either of you big J Balvin fans?
Nope. I can't tell you one song he's in.
I'm more of a Bad Bunny fan. I'm just like, oh, they're
Yeah.
featuring
Okay.
J Balvin.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit. Like they had an album together, I think.
Oh, really?
And I
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and I
I
listened to
don't
that one
know.
a little bit, but I'm not yeah. I'm not like a huge fan of his. I definitely do like these threes, but because I
Mhm.
have the Alma Menieres, I don't think I would pick these up. What about
Yeah.
you guys?
Yeah, probably the same just because I have zero connection to it outside the fact that I really like the sunset gradient.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm not like a super big J Balvin fan, but I'd still pick them up. I think they're
Yeah.
Mm,
like a very good three, like probably top like two or three, like threes. Because like Alma Money, White
mhm,
Cements, and probably these.
Yep.
mm,
I'd definitely be interested to see how it rubs off. That might
yeah,
change if I'd pick them up because if they look
yeah,
good over time based off the wear, then I'd be more interested to keep them.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but if it's just another, mostly white kind of gray shoe, then yeah, I think I'd just stick with my Alma Menieres for now.
Yep.
And then other kind of shoes that are a little bit of a repeat. We got a new look at another Drake shoe. I think DJ Khaled actually showed this off over the weekend, but it's a new Nocta shoe that's fully covered in snakeskin.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it's real snakeskin. I don't think it is, right? I don't think Nike does that. So it's it's like a faux snakeskin. Are you guys into that?
Nope.
I
No?
think they just need to make Drake do Jordan collabs again and stop doing the Nocco
Yeah.
line.
Yeah. I don't
Some
know.
of these are all right, but yeah, this is not it.
This is definitely not it. I was saying, I think I was talking to you over the weekend. I was just like, dude, there's so much snakeskin. It's too much.
Yeah.
Even though I
And
know
it
that's like
all
his it's his thing, right? Like he usually does that for his
yeah,
like P's and
yeah.
stuff.
His E's, he's got it.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I
I
mean,
Pass.
wish
how
the
do you feel about
snakeskin pattern was a little better.
how do you
Yeah.
feel about this hot stepper model, like in general?
Uh, I didn't mind it in like the white or black version. I thought that was fine, but I don't know about it overall as like a model.
Yeah, I feel like it's all right, but it's not like
Yeah.
impressive for like Drake's shoe.
Yeah.
I
I
think it's one of
honestly,
those shoes he's trying to just sell for the masses, right?
like
Yeah, I
outside of
mean,
that though, would
it
you have
doesn't sell
known?
out, so I guess like
Yeah.
it is for the masses because everyone can get it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they restock all the time.
Is it restock or have they just been sitting?
I think they
They
restock
said,
them too because they've sold
Uh,
out a couple colorways. There's one colorway that I wanted, but I don't think they actually ever dropped it, which was like the black one with the gold bottom, or the yellow
I
bottom. I
think
don't think they actually dropped that one.
I think
Hmm.
it's there.
Is it?
Did they?
Let's find out. Maybe Chris will buy
I don't know.
a
Oh
purchase.
no,
You'll make a
that's
purchase
that's
on there.
the back heel. There was one that had
Oh,
the full sole was yellow. I think it was a
I was gonna say
sample.
you gotta buy it on stream right now.
Yeah, no. If it had the full sole, that was the one that I actually wanted.
Okay.
The snakeskin one, I mean, I'd be okay with some snakeskin, but this like I don't think it looks good.
Yeah.
Like it
Full
just looks like a
snakes.
bad pattern.
Yeah. That
And
where
yeah,
that
full
with that
snakeskin is too
stitching.
much.
Where that stitching
Yeah,
is, it
oh,
just no. Uh-uh.
it makes it look worse. You'd think they'd
Yep.
kind of like line up the pattern to make it look some kind of way, but they
You'd
didn't
think,
really.
right?
Let's just put some patches together and like stitch it up and like
Yep.
they'll be okay with it.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. The last kind of upcoming drop, we've already talked about them, a lot, but the Haritos,
Yay.
none of us have got a pair yet from raffles yet. Have you? Anybody?
I've
Nope.
barely seen any wins.
I've seen a lot of stores that have been backdooring, but
I've seen
uh,
2 guys on Twitter who post like multiple wins, but
yeah,
have not
it's
seen that many like regular people.
pretty wild how hard it's been. I don't know
Yeah.
about your guys' stores if you guys knew, but my store only had one pair per size.
That
That's what I heard. It was like stores
that's
were
Yeah.
only getting one pair per size,
yeah,
which
that's
is
not
kind of nuts.
surprising.
Yeah, I think most drops are like two to three.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, one pair per size. I mean, this was definitely meant to be a super limited release.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely going to be a tough shoe to get for sure. Are you guys
Wasn't it?
trying to grab for the toe?
I'd
Uh,
probably hmm.
Probably not,
No.
just because I don't have like that strong like connection to Doritos.
Yeah.
It's a great shoe, but it's like not me.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing. Like I think it's cool. I think it's cool that, like another brand like similar to like Ben and Jerry's, like kind of,
Yeah.
mainstream food is doing stuff like this, but I could probably count on one hand how many times I've had Doritos. So, I mean,
I've still
I
never
don't.
had one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
maybe we'll have some this
Maybe
week.
that's why you're not
Yeah,
winning.
we could have some this weekend when we come by.
Yeah, but I
Um,
mean, I'd rather, as much as like I would like a pair just to say I got a pair, I probably would try to grab it for someone who actually has like a closer tie to Doritos than for me to keep.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. But I definitely want to, just like you, I want to get a pair in hand just to like see
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Like I know how we both really just want to see how the materials are or how everything's been put together.
I
For each
know we
pair.
were talking earlier about like the old SBs versus the new ones. I want to compare
Mm-hmm.
the hem that's on this to my
Oh,
hemp SB
that's
from
true.
like 2003, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious if it feels any different or if it feels the same. Um,
Yeah.
it probably feels a little bit thicker on mine because this one kind of wears away. But
Yep.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the sneakers drop goes. I heard it's about 40,000 pairs, and that's endpoint. So, reality is we're probably going to get like 20,000 max pairs.
Yeah, it's still gonna be
I was
brutal.
gonna say 10K max.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough day.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping my wife can hit a pair for me. She's been hitting all the
Continue her
pairs so
streak.
far. She's hit 2 so far, so I'm hoping she can get them. But yeah, I'm not doing so good on sneakers wins. We'll see. But speaking of not hitting from retail, I guess there was a picture that OVO Augustus posted on Twitter, and it was a picture of his Black Phantom Travis's that he got from StockX, and he said 7 failed bids later. And I mean, I'm taking that as it took 7 attempts to buy that shoe from StockX for him to actually get a pair that either passed authentication or actually got shipped out to him to make it today. Would you guys buy from that? Like, would you buy from there again if it took you 7 attempts to buy one shoe?
After the second fail, I probably would have just given up, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say the
was like,
same
that's
thing.
it.
After the second or third, I'm
Yeah.
just done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you swap
Mm-mm.
to like a new website or would you just give up on the shoe and try to find it somewhere else? Like local or
Uh,
something?
I'd probably go like local or to like a shop. Like I
Mm.
know
Yeah.
they would probably charge higher for sure, right? But I think having that sense of
It's only
security,
first
or
attempt, right?
yeah, exactly, first attempt, you don't have to worry about it afterwards because hopefully,
Like if you're in the
or
shop, you can literally see the shoe in front of you and be like,
exactly,
this
you
looks
don't have to
real.
you don't have to second guess at that point.
Yeah. And I know, Kyle, you definitely just bought a shoe on GOAT and had a similar
Hmm.
ish experience.
Yeah,
What
so
happened?
I finally got my Maison Chateau mids after 3 years of searching for them. But
Woo!
yeah, the first one, they accepted a pretty low bid on my end.
Oh,
And
surprise.
by the time it went to go, they were like, oh, we deemed that this had a bunch of like, what was it, discrepancies from the authentic pair. And I was like, okay, that's probably why they accepted my super low bid. Um, so then I just like, I won't lie, I second guessed it for sure. After that, I was just like, oh, maybe it wasn't meant to be at that point. So even though I
Yeah.
said after 2 tries, I was kind of second guessing after one fail. um, but after like a few months, I was just like, okay, why not? I had like goat credit left over, so I was like, okay, sure. But it ended up passing the second go around, and when it came in, I definitely like legit checked it against
Mm.
everything. So I'm
If
happy
it
with
failed
my.
that second time, would you have
Oh
bought a third time?
no, I would have been like,
No.
well, this pair definitely was not meant to be.
Yeah, written in the stars, it wasn't meant to be. Yeah, that's
Yep. I mean, after it took
that'd be
three
rough for
years for
sure.
me to get one.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's definitely a benefit that the stores have still, right? Is
Yeah.
that you can actually walk in and as long as the store is credible and you know who's behind it,
Right.
it's definitely not a lot nicer to be able to go get it quick rather than have to wait for multiple attempts to try to find it like that. Um,
Yeah. And just actually
StockX,
holding it in hand, it's a different feeling than just like assuming that virtual pair is going to be yours.
yeah. Plus, seeing it in hand is a lot better than seeing it online, right?
Yep. Like
If
that's
you're
what we
really
always
trying to
said
get a
about
shoe.
Yeezy Supply.
Yeah,
all those official images. It was like, what? This doesn't even look the
and then
same.
it comes in hand and it's like a completely different shade. Yeah.
Yep. They're like, what on earth?
Unfortunately though, speaking of some of the other stores, this was I think it's Soul World Miami. So I actually saw this get popped up in the Band LA Facebook group.
Hmm.
And I know me and Blake are in there, so we both kind of see the stuff that pops up. But it I don't really want to go into the actual guy's name or anything like that. But it looks like one of the customers came out and he said like somebody owes him like $10,000. That's just one consigner. And then right after that guy posted, a second guy came out a little bit later And now they're basically really, I think, what is it? Site Supply updated, and he said, according to the post, the store was franchised out, so the owner is trying to basically remove himself from the accountability of what's going on. So, I mean, if that's
Oof.
true, this another store going down. But
Yep.
yeah, definitely kind of rough. I think for the most part, you really have to, get that credibility in the stores that you deal with. Do you guys still sell
Mhm.
through any stores, or have you tried to go just on your own platform at this point?
I stopped selling to the store, um, just because I didn't want to consign anymore because of all these like allegations of like being out money or being out pairs, and like it.
Yeah, I still consign, but it's just like I've worked with the store for like years, so it's like okay, I kind of built a relationship with them.
Yeah.
But it's all these like stories kind of like make you nervous, like oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what if like this is the one time?
Yep.
And a lot of these stores too, I'm very curious on when they all kind of started up and stuff like that. Like, are these all stores that just started within like the last year and then just like
Hmm.
way took on too much, or are these stores that have been around for a while and just like eventually they ran their course? Um, definitely the Band LA group. It's funny. I think somebody posted they sold a T-shirt that says like Band LA ruined my life.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is hilarious now. Um, but they had a whole bunch of issues, and obviously, the owner came out and said like, he basically took all the money and bought drugs and partied and did whatever with it.
Hmm.
You know, whatever cares of who's spending, anybody cares about what he's spending his money on. But the problem was he's spending other people's money on that stuff. And now, obviously, when people are coming back around, he's got no money to give anybody back. I think he said he was going to rehab.
Yeah.
I don't think he's out and stuff, but I do hope he gets better. But I do hope he also gets people their money back because it's pretty terrible to be able to take on all that stuff and then people getting away with just screwing over other people.
Hmm.
And a lot of these stores, I don't really know if we ever seen any like finalization of what happens to anybody getting their stuff
No,
back.
no,
not from
I
what I
really
can tell. They just kind of
I
like
can't think of
they blow
anybody.
up. All these like
it
call
kind of
outs kind of
yeah,
just blow up, and then nothing happens really. Well, that we can
yeah. I think
tell.
it's tough
Yeah,
unless the like, owner comes clean or like you
Hmm.
take it to court.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I
then
think you're
even
gonna
if you
have to take
take
it to court.
But then even if you take it to court, no one really sees the final outcome.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
not necessarily public and stuff.
Hmm.
you were saying like oh, when did these stores usually start? Soul World was only started in like 2019, and actually that's when the guy started reselling. Not even like when he started his store.
Oh,
Oh,
So
wow. Okay, yeah, so
yeah,
they're way young.
yeah. That's not a great look.
I mean, that's kinda what I assumed was a lot of these.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not uncommon for a business to grow really fast in a year, but it was
Well,
definitely I think people got way too big-headed on how much they could take in for
yeah,
sneakers and didn't think,
well,
like, it would ever go
yeah.
back down,
Yeah, and then think
right?
about like all of what happened with all the extra money that came in 2020, 2021.
Yeah. Yeah, all the checks and stuff.
Mhm.
That was definitely a time where if you came in, you may have had the misconception that everything resells. That's how you have
Yeah.
people buying these $500 boots and
yeah,
$500
exactly.
red boots and
Yeah.
thinking that they sell.
And then they have 10 pairs in a warehouse, and they can't
Yep.
It
move.
was a lot more than 10 pairs.
He might have gotten like 3 full-size runs of those.
Yeah, he had way too many. If you have a warehouse and you've got them sitting in there, that's how you already know you've got too many.
Mhm.
Speaking of having too many, Tom Sachs had on the calendar 6 releases for 2023, and Soul Retriever posted all 6 of them were still planning to release about 4 days ago. 2 days ago, Brendan Dunn, I believe, with the Complex podcast, reached out to Nike for a statement on this, and Nike said uh, they are not working with the creative and they have no release dates planned. So basically, they have now, since the allegations and all the pretty terrible things that we've talked about in a couple past episodes, it seems like they've actually cut ties with him. I mean, what do you guys think?
I'm
I
surprised
feel like
that. Yeah, I'm like I'm not. I'm like kind of surprised because like sometimes like what they will protect like their one of their bigger creatives and like
Mhm.
kind of sweep it under the rug, but then so that's what
This is
the assumption that I was working under, that they were just gonna be like, oh, people will kind of forget about it, but then
it's a tough one to sweep under the rug.
it is. So I'm like, oh, they actually did something about it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't actually sweep it under the rug because
Yeah.
like with what happened to Travis, it was kind of just seemed like it was just gonna be one other thing. They'll lay him low for like 6 months and then bring it back.
Yep.
Yeah, and Travis, it wasn't like he directly murdered anybody, right? He obviously had some part in it, but it wasn't like he directly did anything. However, Tom Sachs's allegations are a lot of him directly doing things and creating an environment where it's, a power play, if you will.
Right.
So it becomes a lot more, targeted like that. Same way with what was it, Kyrie, when he
Hmm.
directly tweeted, something that got him dropped. Um, I think once you make it like very direct to yourself, it makes it very hard for the brand to try to protect you. Yeah, I agree. I kind of thought they might try to protect him, especially because even Jerry Lorenzo said, right, Nike was investigating, right, during all the allegations.
Yep.
Once they heard Rape Room, I mean, I thought they better get down there pretty fast and start figuring out what the heck's going on. I don't
Yeah.
know how you have your name on that, but
Also,
yeah,
some pairs should have been in production already for the next releases.
Hmm.
So where are those pairs?
Sitting somewhere.
some of them will probably start coming out. I mean, you'll probably see a couple of people end up with them. I guess the question is though, do people really want to buy those shoes? Because it's a little different than like a Betsy Ross sample,
Yeah.
or like a misprint, right? Do you want the Rape Room guy shoes?
If it's a Mars Yard
Do
3, I feel like people would want it.
If it was a
Yeah.
Mars Yard 1.0 and they did something with it, I'm sure people would buy it again. Do any of you guys have the GPS shoes?
No, I
I do
didn't
not.
end up keeping mine.
I kept my regular pair and like I don't know what to do with them now. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like they're comfy shoes,
Oh
but
yeah, I
like
bet.
I'm not gonna buy another Tom Sachs shoe or something like that, obviously.
Yeah. I
I
don't know.
do I hate to say it, but like his t-shirt sucks, the 10 bullets one, but the his notebooks are really nice actually.
Oh
I
really?
bought those
Oh yeah.
astronaut notebooks. Yeah, those were actually really nice. I took that with me when I was in Detroit when I was up for that rapper kind of meet up when I was up there and I was taking some notes and doing some stuff with them. That was actually fantastic. It fits like right in my back pocket
Oh
and like I
nice.
could write everything in that. It's fantastic.
So Tom Sachs is with you all the time. Got it.
Yeah, basically gives me the confidence that I can just burst out to be violent at any point.
Oh no.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of almost reminded me when I read that, it reminded me of like Steve Jobs from the movie,
Oh yeah.
right? I don't think
Hmm.
he was actually like that. I think they dramatized it a little bit because his wife came out and said like, "Oh, he wasn't that like, maybe she was just saving face." But I'm sure he had some angry outbursts,
I'm
and
sure.
that's kind of what I figured it was something like. It's like everybody's trying to have their Steve Jobs moment
Hmm.
and they get a little big headed like that. But Nike was putting out one fire, but they did manage to do a press run of their other fire, uh, the fire that they actually put out. And obviously, we're gonna talk quickly about this, but Nike put out a official press release that they received 12 billion. That's billion with a B, botted entries monthly. Um, and apparently, was it making up 10 to 50% of all entries per drop. What do you guys think about I mean, we always knew that there was a lot of people entering the sneakers app, right? But I mean, now it
Hmm.
really puts the perspective of, when you have some of this stock overall, right? 12 billion is a crazy amount. And let it alone be just bots, right? That's accounts in general that are in there.
Yeah.
It makes it hard for anybody to try to win.
That's an I mean, 12 billion was just a mind-boggling number for me to see. I
Yeah.
was like, I didn't think it was actually in the billions. I
And
mean, like
I don't,
I granted it is per month, but that's
yeah.
still a lot.
Yeah, and like I always figured, maybe per release we'd get around 1 to 1.5 million people entering.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's probably more like 5 to 10 million per drop at this point.
Wait, let's see. Hold
Um,
on.
which
Let's
is
see.
crazy. I mean, if you think about the average, like that Jordan Spider-Man, that's going to
Hmm.
come out with 260,000 pairs on the sneakers app.
Okay,
10
hold
million
on.
people or something. Like that's crazy.
I'm gonna back you up just a
Yeah.
little. I'm gonna
Hmm.
math check you. So
Yeah.
if you
Okay.
even if you assumed 5 million uh entries per drop, like if you're calculating off the 12 billion, you need 2,400 drops in a month.
Oh my god.
That's how crazy that number is. 12
Okay, if you
billion
have
is a
one drop
lot.
every Friday, let's say five,
Yeah.
right? In a long month,
Yeah.
how many people is that? It's like a
That's 2.4
2 point
billion.
something. Oh my god.
That's
I wonder if
that's
they're
why.
counting like everyone running for declines though on like brick shoes.
But still,
And
that's
and
a
see what was interesting was that this is from the sneakers VP. They also said Nike has a 98% success rate in filtering out bots. If they have 12 million entries and they filter out like 98%, it's still like I think like 20 million or something like that. Or if it was 1 billion, I think it's 20 million. So
yeah.
they still have like a bunch of people that are still getting through there,
Yeah, like 2% success rate of people of bots is like 240 million.
which is still crazy to think about.
That's why that 12 billion. Like when I saw that, I was like, that's a lot of zeros.
That's more than there's people in the world, right? What is it?
Yeah,
Are we at 7 or
Yeah.
8?
we're at 8.
8.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? That's crazy. But I mean, good on them for finally. Is this the first time they've actually come out with botting numbers? Or
Oh,
I think
with this
so.
kind of numbers, I think so. Yeah,
okay,
and that's probably just because I think there's been a huge wave of unfairness fears in the
yeah,
the community, and I think a lot of that stems more from with Yeezy gone, right? Kanye and
hmm,
Adidas are separated.
right,
All of those interests are basically all into Nike now because there's
right,
not anything coming from Adidas that's interesting. So
yeah.
in terms of like the hype new stuff.
That's true. But
So
it was also interesting that they put that out right after Travis too.
that was
Cause
probably more of like a test of faith, right? That's the drop that
right.
everybody assumes is, the most
Yeah.
entries, most bots.
Cause like the last time they did a Travis, I think it was like they were saying it was like 3.8 million entries or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it always
Right?
gets the most. And that's what I
Yeah.
was going to say. I don't think they've released the olive numbers yet.
No, not that I've seen. Maybe this was their way of, putting
Yeah,
out the
replacing
olive
that.
numbers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I would definitely assume that they have a lot and maybe they didn't want to say it because they thought it was too much, right?
Yeah.
Like instead of 3.4, maybe they had like nearly 7 or 8
Or
million.
even
And when you
10.
have yeah, if you have even 5 million people entering a drop that has how much stock was it? Like 100,000?
So they
Yeah.
What's
said
the odds on that? What's the percentage?
of what?
5
Sorry.
million into 100,000.
Your odds are, let's see,
That's
about
got
like
to
a
be less than
2%
like
chance.
Oh wow, okay, it's more than I thought it
Dang.
was.
Yeah.
I was gonna say less than 1. That's sheesh.
Well,
Okay.
that's assuming
2%.
everyone
Hey.
it's a completely random
Yeah, that's
entry.
also
Yeah.
true.
Also have to think about size. Like if you're entering a
Yep.
size 14, you might be
Yeah.
a little screwed.
Yeah.
And unless you're Mason,
Unless you're Mason.
Yeah.
he's been hitting the hot streak. Travis's, Kobe's.
Back to
I
back.
think he might hit Haritos, and biggest size they can offer. That's gonna be crazy. If he
Next
does,
time
I
I
mean,
see him, I might.
he's
If
got to
he
go buy
Next
a
time I see
lottery
him, I might have
ticket.
to step on his shoes.
Yeah, you need a
if
little
he
bad luck in your life. Yeah.
yep. Azim's gonna pull up on him.
Speaking of bad luck, I guess. This kind of leaked, and it's funny because it actually leaked from a Beyonce fan account, not from any of the sneaker leakers, because obviously they've moved on from this. But there's a Beyonce Adidas collaboration, a tennis collaboration that somebody just found, and it's some photo shoot pictures, and it looks like a green like turtleneck onesie, and then there's also a robe, maybe. I'm not sure what it is. Not the greatest looking collection by any means. I don't know if they're scrapping this or what they're doing, but the fan account claims that there's 2 more collections that are coming. One in later this month, and then one in September. I can't imagine they're going to sell out. What do you guys think?
Has any of them ever sold out?
The first one, the
Yeah,
maroon
maybe
one.
the first one.
But nothing since, right?
Nope.
So
Pretty sure everything
probably
after
not.
that has had.
I would say probably not then.
Yeah. So it'll just be another disappointing collection.
Yeah, especially
More money down the drain.
especially if people already assume that it's no longer happening, to have it like
Well,
resurface again, it's just be like, why?
that was from like leak drops or leak accounts and stuff. So probably not everyone heard it, especially like Beyonce fans are probably
Oh,
not following sneaker accounts that like closely.
did it not make it to mainstream media?
No, it was on mainstream because
Was it on their investor call, right?
I think they said something about it. They said they've lost money. I don't know if they've
Oh,
officially said that they parted ways, but I think like a few of the blogs
gotcha.
posted it.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
I thought it made news because then right after that, she did her
Oh, yeah.
Bellman, right?
Right. That's
So
Oh yeah,
she
the
kind of like,
Bowman.
yeah,
yeah. So it
that
was kind of like
promo.
almost like a kind of like
I'm
throwing some
leaving.
shade at them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of like
right.
I
the
don't think they
like her
officially like
decision.
stopped it.
It's
Okay.
my new side piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is basically what she was doing, right? Showing them off for the fancy new thing that she got.
Yeah.
But
Versus
that's
what Adidas.
definitely more her style than Adidas is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd do a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be some sitting stuff. They don't even know. I mean, there's no shoes or anything. We've only seen like this onesie picture basically. So, pretty ugly collection probably, but we'll see what else they've got.
Mm-hmm.
And then, speaking of waiting for collections, the Fear of God shoes that we talked about last time, and we kind of looked at them with their. Did they have a name of this? I don't think they had a name. It's just the Fear of God performance basketball shoe. But the one that they showed at the show is apparently a sample, and they're going to make some edits and bring it back. But I think the Quantum was always more of a like style focused before a performance focused shoe. Do
Mm-hmm.
you guys think it's better that they're going performance first on these?
Probably. I mean, I think if actual NBA stars end up wearing these,
Yeah,
I think
that's what
it's
I was gonna
better to
say.
have it a performance model first, so people can actually see them on court.
Yeah, if they can get
And
on Adidas like signed NBA players, then it'll
yeah,
actually
Yeah,
be good.
yeah,
like Harden or somebody like that.
Exactly.
Maybe
yeah.
give him his own colorway. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, give
stuff
him a
like
Who
friends and
else we
family
got?
pair, and it'll be kind of
Yeah,
fun.
they got
it'll definitely
Lillard.
drive up the hype for sure.
Yeah, and you have to
If
do
they
all
could
those
do it right
before like
now
the colors
during
come out.
playoffs,
Yeah.
that'd
Oh,
probably be best.
yeah. Well, I mean, if they're getting, would they let players wear these samples? Production samples?
Why
Um,
not?
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
I mean
just curious.
they make one-offs for people all the time. So yeah,
Okay.
they'd probably do it.
Okay. I was just curious because I wasn't sure like
They,
if
they may
these
not
like
do it
performance
because
samples would be liable for any of the, possible
um
injuries if it's not like fully up to spec.
no, I don't think they care that much. They probably just say like, "Hey,
Okay.
it's a gift. Like just go wear it." And like they most of the time I think they just shoot around with it for like the pregame, right? And then when
Okay.
they actually start, they
Yeah.
just change shoes.
Okay, that would make sense
Um
then.
Yeah, so I mean they could get him a PE. I think what's the conflict is that it's not an Adidas shoe. It's a Fear of God Adidas shoe. Like we didn't see Yeezy Adidas PEs, right?
Yeah, but we
So
saw Yeezy Adidas
oh, the
football
D
cleats on
Rose.
players.
Oh yeah, and we saw the football cleats. Yeah, the football cleats were. I mean, the football cleats were such a flop. The D Rose was probably the closest thing we came
Yeah.
to like a collab like that or a PE. That would have been crazy. Imagine if every player got like their own patterned foam runner. Um, yeah, but I think Kyle, we were just talking about this. The quantum shoe basically got knocked out of the NBA for the 3M and all the
Mhm.
problems that it had.
Yeah.
And then they did make the basketball version. I was just playing basketball in those yesterday. I like those a lot, but again, the only people who got to wear those were the Donda athletes.
Yep.
So, I mean,
Not
unless they
as
can get
widespread.
unless they can get real like NBA players to wear them. I mean, do you guys think that these will just flop, or do you think they'll still kind of? I don't know if Nike basketball is ever going to come back, but they're trying. I don't. Do you guys think this could help Adidas kind of catch up with that?
Mm,
100%. Like, people actually care about the shoe.
yeah.
I think a
Mm,
lot of people like Fear of God too, so
yeah.
Jerry might help it out.
Yeah, exactly. People care about essentials, so
That's
And
true. Yeah.
I think if basketball, like professional basketball players, actually like buy into this, and it's actually like a decent basketball sneaker, yeah, I think it definitely will do decently.
If there's a good colorway, I might pick one up. I'll compare them to the Easy basketballs.
Ooh, actual wear test from you.
I'll wear one. I'll wear one on each.
No,
I'll
that's not
play.
a fair. Especially if you're right
you're gonna play a
dominated.
game in each shoe.
Yeah, a game in each. Terrible. I'll switch after each game.
Switch after each quarter.
Yeah, that's the real way to test.
Isn't that what PJ Tucker does or something when wears his like crazy pairs?
I hope so. Otherwise, he'd murder his pairs if he plays the whole game in one of those.
Travis
Um,
Travis fours gone.
yeah, or the Eminem fours or anything like that. Some of his pairs too are so old. Like I can't believe that he plays in some of those.
It's crazy. That man's crazy.
One of the things I was kind of almost revisiting now. It's almost been 6 months. Actually, I think it's been a little bit over 6 months now. November or not November? Sorry, October 25th, 2022 was the day that Adidas put out the press run that said Kanye West was officially getting dropped from Adidas. Their stock price was like $50, and I think it dropped to like 40, or not 45, or not 40, sorry, but like 45s, maybe like 48s.
Mhm.
And everybody still, and I see it all over Twitter. I hate seeing it all over the place. It's like Kanye is everything of Adidas. Adidas is nothing without him. Adidas' stock price today is at like $95, double what it was since they've dropped Kanye.
Rip
Um,
Kanye.
and I know we've been following, Lois, on Twitter. She's been really good at providing a lot of information on the background and stuff like that. What do you guys think about Adidas as a company? I mean, like, do we even matter to them at this point? Like, if you think about it,
Who do you saying as we?
we as sneakerheads buying $200 plus sneakers.
Okay. Mm.
I mean, I think we definitely do because, like, obviously there's a lot of profit there, and then it's like the style kind of like goes down to like the more accessible shoes, right?
Hmm.
We saw Yeezys, and then we saw like these other lines come out around like the Yeezy shoes that look kind of
The
similar to them.
derivatives,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Hmm.
the tubulars and stuff like that. Yeah,
I think also
yeah,
too
that's
going
true.
off that like it may not be like the most hyped shoe. Like we saw Sambas coming back too, right? Like it could just
Yeah.
be like the sneaker culture influence. Like we could just take a really casual shoe like the Sambas and more sneakerheads start wearing it just because it's not a bad sneaker to wear, but having that start to gain popularity, drives up the sales in their other lines as well.
And I don't have the numbers to back this up, but I think we can reasonably say that like Nike has a better control of the US market, and
Hmm.
US market is probably like it's one of the biggest economies, if not the biggest, right?
Right.
Consumer
Oh well, here
economy.
that
So it's
I was
obviously
gonna say.
like oh
Oh, go
sorry,
ahead.
continue.
No, go
Oh,
ahead.
but yeah, I was gonna say like they would obviously want to have a bigger piece of that pie.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what Lois was posting. I think this is from the Adidas the call, and they even called out Nike and said like Nike has a way better U.S. reputation and a centralistic business model. And was something that I thought was funny that they pointed out was they said Nike has like the U.S. street culture and then like exports it to other countries as influence
Hmm.
versus like Adidas keeps having this problem of like we're a bunch of Germans out here and we don't understand the U.S. street culture. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand why they don't have like their own different Adidas U.S. division.
That's what we were talking about. Like one of the
Yeah.
really
Right.
early ones, we were saying how, yeah, Adidas
Just
was
gives
just
like
very.
U.S. designers
Yep.
like a chance.
Mm-hmm. Just someone who has like a better, read on the pulse of the market that you're targeting.
And I
You
mean,
just
like, if you think about it, I want to say most of their collabs are with European brands still. It's not with
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
US brands.
Yeah,
Like
and
we
even
had
if
Kith and Ronnie. And that's the only one I
They
can
have
think of right now.
yeah,
Palace a lot.
yep,
Palace is UK, yeah.
yeah. So it's just like even when they are trying to do like US collabs, it doesn't really feel like it fits. Like it doesn't really make so much sense, Like they're
Um,
just trying really hard.
like the North Face,
Mm-hmm.
right? Did they do North Face? No, it was no, that was the Gucci one. I think had all the jackets.
Yeah,
Gucci one. I don't know
Gucci
if
had a
that's considered. Would you consider that European or American? I feel like they're a European company, but I feel like
They're
that was an
European.
American collab.
no, that's European.
It's
Think
European for
so?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That collab just felt like it didn't feel like it had a European style to me. Maybe some pieces, like
Mm-hmm.
the
It had a very
gloves and the
Gucci style to
shoes,
it.
but the jacket stuff just reminded me of like just North Face, like kind of American style.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
before I
trying to think
forget,
of
they
like
also
any
had
Adidas like real American collab. I can't.
they had a Sporty and Rich collab, which is I forgot her name.
Sporty and
GTP.
rich.
Sporty and Rich.
Oh, I think Lois posted about one of those as well.
Emily Oberg's brand.
What did they make?
They make clothes. They're kind of
Did they
like
make clothes?
they're kind of like Kith, but like very. I want to say Kith style, but more like into athleisure.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, this definitely looks a lot more European style.
Yeah. The sweaters.
Sporty and rich. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
But I think this is a US or like a North American based brand.
Is it
So
really? They have a very
yeah,
European style. I mean I like it though. I like the colors and everything. It's kind of interesting that Adidas has gone from, these huge collabs to end up selling like their best models are like just normal shoes, if you want to call them that, right?
Yeah.
Um, and one of the other things that Lois had posted also was like the line that was, I think this is in Paris for a Sheen. Is that how you say it?
Say
Shein,
Shine,
Shein. Shein.
Sheen.
Shein,
Yeah.
maybe
So
that's
Yeah.
better.
Pop up in Paris for that. I mean, the line is like 6, 7 blocks, and like Kyle,
Shein.
you said like longer than the line for Supreme.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
true, unfortunately. But I mean, like that's a brand that has like openly known bad thing. Like, I mean, like there's like Nazis, and then there's like employing children to make clothes so much that they write help messages into the tags.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, there's all sorts of different levels to this, but like, I mean, people just don't care. I guess. I mean, they just keep going and showing up to buy it at the store. I don't know if the kids are in the back making it or
Help.
what. That's horrible that they've got them in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, fast fashion is still the big thing. I mean, it's being able to move so quick, and I think that's still what a lot of the other brands have problems with, right? Adidas is kind of, I mean, Adidas is really slow to pick up on it. One of the things I was thinking about earlier was, the Air Jordan 3 J Balvin. It
Mm-hmm.
got leaked by like Brandon and I think Sneaker Files. And we were just all complaining about how, Nike SB commented about, like the leaks and stuff. And we said like, oh, if they wanted to, they could get ahead of it.
They
Well,
could.
once that leak came out, they got ahead of it. They told J Balvin, yo, throw them on
Yeah.
feet, go to the event. And
Yep.
then Nike controlled the first look rather than waiting for Master Chef Ian to get it in his hands and drop the pictures from private selection. What do you
That's
guys
true.
think? Do you think Nike did a good thing with that?
Yeah, I like the rollout a little bit more than like just seeing some leak page have it and being like,
Mhm.
oh, the sneakers are gonna release in like 6 months.
Especially for the person that they're collabing with, like for him to be the first one to be seen wearing it like
It
that, I thought
makes
that
more
was cool.
sense.
It makes more sense, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it
Um,
definitely makes it a lot better. That was my favorite thing of seeing Kanye in like new Adidas models, right? We'd always
yeah,
see it first on his feet and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, it was always fun being like, oh my God, what is that shoe?
yeah. You get
Yeah,
to
some things you've
control the
never seen
narrative.
before. Yeah, definitely you get to control the narrative.
Well,
And yeah, that
especially,
was yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah.
I was gonna say, especially with like Nike SBs, like a lot of the brands that they
Mm.
collaborate with, like have a story to it, you know? Like especially with the design of like the Crenshaw one. That was
Oh
the one
yeah.
that people had that was the one that they commented on, right?
Yes. Yeah. Because that
Yeah,
one has
so
the children block and stuff on.
exactly. Okay, yeah, and the kids are on the bottom, I think, on the
Yeah.
sole. But yeah, seeing it without hearing the story like kind of feels weird to me. So I understand where Nike SB was coming from with the comments. So I kind of wish that they did control that narrative a little bit better and hearing the design process or the story behind the design.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. As much as I like the SBs specifically for that, right? How much
Hmm.
they incorporate like some other brand or something into the design. But I will
Hmm.
say, I feel like the Nike rollouts on design stuff has been extremely lackluster.
Oh, for sure.
Like we've seen like barely anything of like a Haritos, behind the design or showing stuff about it. Like they could have, pulled up on the sneakers live thing, the Haritos, they could have cut it open
They
on
could have,
there and
yeah.
had people show it off. Like you could do everything that private selection and all these guys are doing, but they don't do that, right?
No.
They're just like, oh, we'll just wait until you get it in hand. Well, some other dude's paying $800 to get it early to show it off before you do.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's a I don't know. I'm glad they're kind of doing it. But like in the other one that I was talking to you about was the. Did you ever watch the Spider-Man behind the design
Oh
that's on the
no,
sneakers app?
I watched the other video and then I forgot about that one. So, but
It's.
yeah, I
I
do
mean,
remember.
you don't even have to. You open it up and like it's just like, and like there's nothing wrong with the people that were on the video. I
Hmm.
like all the designers, the directors that were there, but all they talked about was, Miles is a character who's obviously black. He grew up in Brooklyn. Jordans would be a part of his culture growing up. And they're like, so we couldn't make the story without trying to figure out how to incorporate that, that's real culture growing up with him. And I was
Hmm.
like, okay, I get that. And then they just repeated that 3 times. And then they're like, and that's how we came up with the design. And I was like, you didn't say anything. And
That
then they ended
has
the
nothing to do
video.
with the design, though. I feel like.
And in this, yeah, it has nothing to do, and that would make sense for like the first one. But
Sure, yeah.
they showed off the first shoe,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, but this is the shoe that's coming out. I was like, you're not gonna talk about it. Like, you're not gonna show
Oh
off the character or
no.
anything? They're like, they said nothing.
Oh
Okay.
no.
I was like, this is what I'm getting upset about. I was like, this is why people leak your stuff, Nike, is because you
Yep.
do a terrible rollout like this.
Yep. Oh, especially if that was like the the official behind the design too. Oh no.
Yeah. I'm hoping they'll update it and do a second one. Maybe that's just like a teaser kind of thing.
I
But
hope
God, that was
so.
horrible.
I hope
I
Hopefully by
guess.
so.
the actual
Um,
release.
yeah. Uh, final thoughts for I guess the episode would be we've seen a lot of SBs that are coming out for the rest of the year, right?
Hmm.
I think we've all kind of got maybe one or two that we're looking forward to. If you had to pick an SB, how do you think they could roll it out that would make it good? Whatever SB you're looking forward to. Kyle, I assume you is like you two.
Yeah, Utah's, yeah. I think him like if they did like a video, like an official launch video with him, well, especially like he's the reigning Olympic gold medalist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
having like an official rollout with him and I
I
guess
think he's
whoever
technically
he
a
skates
world
with.
champ.
Oh, okay. Well, even better, like
Yeah.
he's on a global stage. Like what better way to have the person that you're collabing with and who's the world champ to like do an official, release video, like skate video, and then going into possibly why he chose certain parts of his design. It's his logo, right? That little
I think
emblem.
that's what it is. Yeah, the
Okay.
feathers. I
Yeah. So
think
maybe
that's what that is.
whatever that means to him, that'd be kind of neat.
I mean, yeah, here, we don't even know. Give us some
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Tell us. Tell us.
Azeem?
Yeah, I think my favorite like coming out is the April skateboard
Oh,
SB. I think
yes.
just literally having them posted or doing it behind the design, like actually going into the design more would be great.
Yeah, they definitely
Instead
have
of
one of the
having
most interesting designs.
exactly. Instead of just we've already seen it on league pages and like
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
we're just waiting now.
And that was one that almost got canceled too.
Yeah.
So it'd be very interesting to hear, how it survived and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, mine's probably gonna be born and raised SB, right?
Mhm.
But I think that's a LA based store. So I think if they want to do the rollout right, they should do a LA kind of thing for like local customers, the people that have been with the brand for a while. Obviously that's not going to be me. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be the person that gets that, but for a company or something like they're like I've been watching their posts and kind of keeping up. They do a lot of LA collaborations and stuff like that. So I feel like for them doing like an in-store kind of event or like a local LA like come out here to this skate park or something and like just come hang out and then like random people would like get selected or do like a random raffle out there for the local community, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that'd be a good way, at least for special boxes or something. Do something cool.
And the born and raised guys are very like well spoken and like very like
Hmm.
uh big into like show stuff. So like it would be great to like hear them talk about the shoe and like explain their thought process behind it and like what they like about the shoe themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good hearing like the original person kind of say stuff about it. Like after seeing, was it I think is DJ Clark Kent, I think put some of his shoes out in like New York Park, his Laser Fives. Like
Mhm.
imagine like just walking around Japan and like going to various skate parks and just like dropping off a box
That'd be
of like
cool.
a pair, right?
Yeah.
That'd be super cool, right? Or being like, yo, the first person that comes to this park in the morning or something like, like I'll sign your box and like you'll get whatever size. Like he'll have like a car full of them. And
Yeah, that
like,
would be
or maybe not a
nuts.
car full, right? Like it's just Nike SB in a truck, like driving around or something. That'd be so cool. It's like Kanye in
Wow. Yep.
Chicago,
That's
right?
that's exactly what I thought of first.
That would actually be super cool. And it's like you just show up randomly and it's like, yo, if you're the first person to find me, like we'll just get your size and like I'll sign the box and like, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Oh, something I'd also like to see more of is like, do you know how like unions would do their video for their shoes? I would love to see more of that.
Their videos like themselves.
Oh no, it's like the animated videos, like for their shoe rollout.
Animated videos
I gotta
from
find it.
Union. I'm trying to think of like
Yeah,
which shoe is this for?
Jordan 4.
Is it really
I know definitely
animated?
for the 4.
Why can't I think of this? Kyle, do you know what video he's talking about?
Can you repeat it again? Like, can you describe it
Oh, I literally can't remember what it is.
again?
It's been so long, but I just remember
It
it
blew his
happened.
mind. It was so good.
It was so good. It was so
Exactly.
enthralled by what it was.
That's probably,
Uh,
I mean, if they do an animated kind of thing though, I mean, there'd be so much
Animated.
effort to put into it. I would definitely like be more into it. Like if you have a vibrant shoe, I think especially, I think like those kind of things pop out so much better. What was there was one
yeah.
release that the Travis 6, the green one. Do you remember what was the guy that they had? Like he was doing the fishing and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember that capsule. Oh man, I can't remember what his name was. Um now I want to know.
Fishing.
Oh yeah, it was this guy? Oh, Randy Moss. Ah,
Oh.
and they just had him like fishing with the shoe, and like you saw the shoe just jumping in the background like a fish.
It's
Like
so
they just did like
random.
yeah, and they just had all these props, and like all these props like ended up going for if you're on that end of the market, right, you could pick up some of
Mhm.
those items. So, like that's how I was able to get a couple things.
That
But
is
like
such a
it was all produced for like this just little episode shoot, and that was it.
so
I found the
simple.
video.
He just
Awesome.
sat there
Oh.
or stood there.
Oh, Hustle and Motivate. This is
Union?
Nipsey Hussle.
Oh.
I think that's one of the songs. Oh wow, this is like a real anime.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
I
even like
saw this and it blew
animated.
my mind.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's 4 minutes
Wow.
long.
Union made this?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell
That's
you
actually
I never watched
incredible.
this.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that this was a thing for the shoe, but that's incredible that they put this much time into it. This is more effort than I've seen them do in like any other rollout.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh yeah, it
what
was
if
a
they do
okay.
what if they do a
Union
really
Los
good job
Angeles. It was a
for
good
the
day.
woven ones?
I mean, yeah, the woven ones honestly has the opportunity that like if they did the story right, they could do a lot with it. It just
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's really I mean, obviously the leaks. I think that the original leak pictures were kind of mid, but then now once we've seen the on feet, everybody's kind of come back a little bit more on them.
Yeah. Especially because it's his wife.
Yeah, so it's kind of a sweet collab to kind of see them work together.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's all that we have for this episode. So again, if you've listened this far, we appreciate it. Make sure to give us a thumbs up on YouTube, subscribe, and rate the episode on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.